What's good, everybody? Timeless Traveler here, and welcome back to my Let's Play. Now, I promise I will get to work on the interior of this house at some point. I don't know if it's going to be soon, but I know it's been an empty house for like over 10 episodes now, but we'll get to work on that. Today, we are going to be working on the bone battery. We're going to optimize it a little bit, and then we're also going to do some nice decoration. I've spent a lot of time in creative putting something together, and I think now you just take a quick look at all the resources we're using. I think what I've put together so far in creative is going to be pretty good. I was just fine-tuning a few things, making sure I have every last bit of resource, so I don't have to keep coming back and forth. I've been looking over the pictures in creative and coming back over here and making sure I have all the stuff in our shulker boxes, and I think we are good. All right, team, we're here at the bone battery. Now, last episode we put together this amazing well, it's just one farm, but we did it 4 times. Yeah, so we have ourselves just a basic bone meal farm or a basic moss farm, and I know it looks like this big weird contraption. It's actually really simple once you break it down into the 4 parts. You know, you've got your 4 stone generators that all push into the center. While that's happening, a clock is bone mealing some moss to convert all of that into moss, and flower azaleas, all that stuff. The pistons up there push it all down. Look, hopper minecarts collect it all, and we have double hopper speed pulling everything down into the storage. And currently we have a less than preferable way of sorting the items. These 2 combine coming up into this water stream. These 2 kind of share a water stream as well, and it clogs right over here. It gets messy. It's annoying. So creative time, I did a little work, redesigned all of this. We're not going to be having this. It's all going to be underground. We're actually going to split. I think I mentioned last episode where we're going to have an item storage for each one. It still runs perfectly fine if 2 farms share one, as long as we eject it with a special crafted item dropper, auto dropper that I whipped together. There's probably tutorials on it out there. I just kind of put something together, and it works pretty well. Enough of that. I'm gonna bore you all to death with the details. We'll get there when we get there. Let's start by getting this hole in the ground. Behind these barrels is going to be all of the complex, highly advanced technical circuitry, which we'll go over later. And on this side, we have, so each side is going to have the exact same amount, right? This one is going to be our item elevator. We're going to put empty shulkers in here, and we're going to use some redstone trickery to let us know when the whole system needs to be refilled. And from there, we have 2 barrels right here. And this is going to be our shulker loaders, specifically one for bone meal, one for moss blocks, because out of everything that comes out of this farm, let me show you once we get over to here. Out of everything that is produced from this farm, what is produced the most is moss blocks and bone meal. Now I grabbed some bone meal because I'm actually building with bone blocks. But everything else hasn't even filled up a shulker box. This is all the flowered azaleas that we have, all the regular azaleas. Before we tore all this up, I let this run for probably 4 hours or more. And for us to only have less than a shulker box worth, it really doesn't make sense for me to use a shulker loader for anything that doesn't produce a shulker box or more within an hour's time. But for the design of the room, trust me, I know it looks like a huge mess right now, but believe me, when it's all done, it's going to look really, really good. Can you figure out what this is here, what I did here? I'll give you a few more seconds to kind of guess why this pattern's here. That's right, it's a clock, because I'm Timeless Traveler. And you know, the clocks are kind of a thing for me. So we have ourselves a fully, not functional, but it's a fully properly spaced out clocks. We got 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And then I'm trying to go with, so first off, like I said, I got to build with blocks I've never used before. So we're using the bone block. You're going to see a lot of that in here. Makes sense because we're producing high quantities of bone meal. So why shouldn't we build with bone blocks? And then moss blocks, I'm going to try to use some more of those. And now because of 1.17, the recipe for these blocks have changed. I don't know if anybody knows, you can no longer build these two, mossy cobblestone and mossy stone brick, with vines. So no longer need vine farms for these blocks. All you need is a moss farm and you'll be good to go. Looking good so far. And then we're gonna just fill this in with some stone brick, a little bit more of the that earthy look. It's weird, but it kind of reminds me of one of those old school arcade Space Invader kind of characters. You know what I mean? It kind of does. Just a little bit. It's there. It's there. See, that's looking pretty good. I'd say this. You know what? This actually would make a beautiful centerpiece for a garden. I might. You know what? I might have to copy this for some future project. Go ahead and pause the screen if you want to use this. This I really like the way this turned out. But we're going to be chilling in here. This is going to pretty much be a very fancy Afk spot. We'll actually have a little cubby space in the wall where we'll have a bed and a ladder to the maintenance area, which is basically we're just going to have like a floor where I can access all of the tech on the inside. Because this is going to be, I don't want to spoil the surprise, but essentially the way this is being built, we need to have a bed tucked away over here, outside the central area. So we'll get there when we get there, but I think this has turned out pretty darn good. I like this. I'm just now using the flower and azalea. Got a couple new blocks. I've never really used the mossy stone brick, so technically that's a new block as well for me. Most of these are new. Flower and azalea, moss block, calcite, mossy stone brick, black stained glass. I feel like I've used a couple times. Bone block, not really. Mossy cobble, not so much either. So I'd definitely give myself an A+ for the creativity with some new blocks that I haven't really been well experienced in building with before. And now we just got finished working on the item elevator. This is going to be bringing all of our empty shulker boxes up and refilling the shulker box loader system. Very simple. Go ahead and take a look at the tutorial that I made a while ago if you want to learn how to build this up. But essentially, it's going to read whenever a shulker box goes in here. It's going to activate the clock, and it's going to send the items up into what's going to be a hopper system that's going to, like I said, go into the shulker box loaders, make sure that everything is working real quick. I'm going to throw some items in here. We got 6 trapdoors, and it's making a clicky now. But typically this is a silent working contraption. As long as it is putting these items into a nether container, it will be silent. So if we put a hopper there or a chest or a barrel or even a shulker box there, you won't hear that clicky. We got both of them working now. So the last bit of tech we got to put in is going to be our shulker box loaders, and then just the basic storage, and then of course our item sorters. And with the shulker box loader, I'm gonna have to get over onto the other side actually. Okay, we're gonna put our comparator right here, reading out of that hopper, which is feeding into the dispenser. This is going to be our shulker loaders, and we got all this beautiful bone block for decoration. We'll get to that later. Very excited for that part. But let me get a redstone lamps. Now check this out. So this is going to be all of our item outputs. It's going to look really, really sleek, right? We're going to put all of our shulker boxes in here. And then item elevator is going to send them over into the hoppers. It's going to load our dispensers. And then it's going to, when that light goes off, that tells us that there are no more shulker boxes in here, which means that there are 9 or less shulker boxes in the dispenser, which means we need to refill and fast because these actually fill up pretty quick. But let's go ahead and let's get that right here. Good, good, good. And we're going to go and fill up with shulker boxes real quick. Got all the shulker boxes from the previous shulker box loaders over there. Let's go ahead and toss them into the item elevators. So far, it's lighting up, which means items are passing through. Yes, it's going into that one. Good. You know what I just realized? So this is going to stay lit up because this one is being powered. Okay, I figured it out. It might look a little different when it's all said and done, but I figured out, see what I mean? Both these blocks are getting powered. So what we're going to do to get around that is when this is all said and done, it may look a little more different. I'll may have to modify a couple things. We actually do have to switch this out with some of this. Okay, it's all coming together. Good, good. And then we'll put the comparators right here. Ow. Comparator here and a comparator there. Perfect. Okay, now what we'll do instead is we'll just put some redstone blocks here. Well, I'm using the iron blocks to signify that I'm using them as redstone holders. Okay, but so we got this right here. So now these are both being powered, but this one is only going to power and reach out to here. It won't leak over and go over here. Let me show you what I mean. So if we break this one, see, it goes off. Now we have ourselves another bit of a mess right here. They're just setting up the bulk storage for the everything that's not going in the shulker loader. So the azalea, flowered azalea, seed, and the moss carpet. You know, it is a really good thing I spent as much time cutting down trees and AFKing at my iron farm for as long as I did, because I am going through so many chests and so many hoppers. It is unbelievable. You don't realize just how many hoppers you need until you do the project. So I always say, when it comes to hoppers and chests, if you're working on a big project, just overestimate, and then overestimate just a little more. Because if you think you have enough, you don't have enough. You need a little more. And then even from there, just make a little bit more just to make sure you've got all the hoppers and chests you need, because one way or another, they are going away, and they're going away very, very fast. Okay, it's looking pretty good so far. So essentially what we're going to do here is take a look at this. So we're going to get our bone blocks, and because these bone blocks have this nice circular texture, I figured it would be perfect. We're going to put some invisible item frames there, and then it's going to hold the item of whatever we're storing in here for a nice little added look. Yeah, this is looking good. We're going to have to bring this across, and then we'll fill this in with some solid bits like this. And this is going to come all the way across. We are going to have diorite stairs upside down. So I think that, you know what? I think that might be fine. Okay, this is all lined up. So essentially, I hope this is right. Yes. We have to come up, and then we're going to place hoppers right here. That's coming together much, much better. Now we just have to get in the item filters and get the water streams in, and then get the auto droppers. And I think other than some minor decoration after that, I think we're gonna be done. And it is finally done. Aside from having our decoration, our cover, we've got all the redstone bits in here, all the sorting, all of the auto droppers, all the science, and the wiring has been completely taken care of. Let's take a look at let's break this down bit by bit, because this is a lot to take in. So obviously we're using water streams, but that's all going to be coming from the auto droppers. Now this is an interesting little bit. Now this is a little bit of interesting work here. I didn't actually look up how to do this one. I just kind of use what knowledge I have to figure out how to do what I needed to get done. Essentially, we're having all these high volume of items coming in, so we need to be able to output this at a quicker rate. And I figure using 2 observers, whenever they face each other, it outputs a fairly decent signal. And we have 3 auto droppers. One of them is going to be for the non-bone meal. I'm sorry, 2 of them are going to be for the non-bone meal. Everything that doesn't get bone mealed goes into that. See that double chest over there? It all goes into there. And then the bone meal, because it takes a while to go through the composters, we only really need 1 dropper for this setup. But this is actually not too bad. It's as small as I could come up with, and it's very simple. So let's throw some junk items in here. So these are all sorted. Okay, we have 2, like I said earlier, we have our 2 Shulker Box Loaders that's going to sort our moss blocks and our bone meal. The rest of these 4 are the carpets, the azaleas, flowering azaleas, and then the seeds, right? And then any excess, because sometimes there's the occasional, the hoppers don't pick up enough items at once. Like say, like a group of flowering azaleas come through, and then right before that, another azalea comes through right before the cooldown for the hoppers is over. So you get like 1 or 2 pieces that slide off into the lava. But if something else accidentally gets inside the system, aside from that, it gets incinerated. So if we take a look here, let me show you. We're gonna do a thing. Let's get some iron blocks. Okay, we're gonna use 5 stacks of iron blocks, right? So we did a little bit of a modification right here. So we have the normal, the hopper minecarts right here. And then what's happening here is that this is going to be pulling from here with this hopper minecart. So some of these items are going to go into the bone meal. Some of these are going to be just the regular items. Now, because we have a hopper minecart here to make sure that the items are being pulled at a respectful speed, because this is being pulled in, these 2 hoppers are going to be taken from the hopper minecart. This one's going to be doing the same thing. It's going to be going into 2 different hoppers into the chest and outputting into 2 different droppers. It's pretty fast, actually. If we let's go ahead and put 5 stacks of items right here. Now, of course, not all of them are going to come out, because they're going to get, some of them are filling up right here. But this is a pretty good rate. Look at this. We are already, let's see how many we're already down almost the entire stack or entire set of iron blocks. Do you have an idea how many blocks that is, everybody? This is 320 blocks that have just been pulled through the hoppers and shot out and filtered through, or in this case, they've all been incinerated. And out of those 4 stacks, we have 1 stack that goes into the composter. So for 1 slice of this this farm, there's about 5 different slices, right? In 1 slice, we're going to be getting 4 stacks of items that are going to be going through all the filters for every 1 stack of bone meal, which is not, that's if I out on anymore, it's gonna be way too much for this current setup. So I think just 1 filter is more than enough for our various building needs. But by now, you know how auto droppers work, I think. We have the items inside the double chest, goes into the dropper, it comparator pulls the signal, activates a sticky piston, pushes the redstone block, pushes this sticky piston, pushes the observer, it does a little blinky blinky, and then it powers the block and activates the dropper, spitting out all of those lovely items. Not too bad of an auto dropper though, considering that I didn't actually look up how to do this. I just kind of put a few things together, and it exceeded my expectations. And then of course we have to use water streams. In the previous build last episode, we were just using a hopper line, so it was only pushing 2.5 items per second. With 3 auto droppers pushing out all those items, as you saw, we went through 5 stacks of items. It pulled from here. It took about a minute to pull 320 items and put them into the auto dropper. So that's considerably faster than just a straight hopper line. And for anybody that's still learning how to use water streams, take a look at this. You need to put yourself a chest right here, because what will happen is in order to make the item stream effective, the items have to slide not only on the ice and the water to push it along, but it also needs to slide along every hopper until it finds the one that it belongs into, or in other words, the one that has been programmed to accept whatever item is sliding across. In our case, we have bone meal, moss blocks, and all that stuff, right? So the best way to do that is you want to have the water stream push it into a block that is not a full size. If you take a look at this, the dimensions of this is actually considerably smaller than the dimensions of this, and also the hitbox is noticeably smaller. So the items are actually on both these 2 blocks at the same time, and the water stream will push it along right down the middle until it finds the appropriate hopper. If it does not find the appropriate hopper, then it just gets incinerated. So that's how we take care of sorting the items at a much quicker rate than in the previous farm. And then I finally took care of having to go all the way to every single farm to turn on everything. What we did here was, this is very simple. I was previously gonna just have an entire wall where we could have 1 lever, 2 lever, 3 lever, 4 levers, and it would control all of them. I decided no. Visually it would have just messed me up to like figure out which one is which. I don't want to put signs saying which switch goes to which farm. So I just figured these 2, very simple. These 2, this switch and this switch. Very simple, very easy to figure out. In just a few seconds, the farm turns on, and as we can see, items are about to start popping out. Maybe we should turn on this one so you can see the full stream. And my frames are definitely taking a bit of a hit, but that's okay, because we can literally access all 4 of these in a much shorter period of time. We don't have to travel to all 4 of those far edges. Am I the only one that thinks that these observers look really cool being pushed out of the wall like this as the auto dropper activates? I don't know why. I think that just looks really cool. And then we'll go ahead and turn on these ones over here, and my frames are really gonna take a hit. But as you can see, all the farms are active. We don't have to fly from one end of the farms to the other. All we gotta do is hit a few switches, and very cool thing here. We just got some redstone lamp to let us know, hey, the farm is on, or hey, the farm is off. Very simple, very basic. So if we just kind of AFK here for maybe, I don't know, 2 hours, this barrel is probably going to be almost full on both of them, because like I said, this farm, each one produces about 6,000 items per hour. So each side is going to get about 120,000 items. That's almost combined. That's almost 250,000. That's a lot. That is a lot to take care of. So the only thing left to do at this point is really just to fill this in. So we want to, this is going to be completely blocked off. You're not going to see this. We're going to have a little maintenance hatch that'll allow us to come in here for whatever reason. The redstone, the science is pretty solid. I don't think we have to fix anything at any point, but it's always good to just kind of have a little hatch to have access to all your redstone. From there, we're going to fill all this in. There's no longer going to be this giant hole. Well, there's going to be a hole, but it's not going to be this big square. You may already know what the hole is going to look like if you've been noticing the floor. I've said too much. Let's go get everything taken care of. Okay, so I tried to get a good angle for the time lapse, but because of the way all the redstone was configured, there really was no ideal angle. So that's why that last bit was very brief. But take a look, everybody. It is done. The bone battery has not only been optimized, but it is completely done. There is nothing else that we need to do here. Take a look here. We have the lovely floor, which we've already seen. I got some nice little storage in here. So this is going to have all of our shulker boxes. So when these get full, these suckers right here, when these get full, we're just going to toss them into here, and we're just going to have shulker boxes full of all of these goodies. Same thing with here. We're going to transfer them into shulker boxes. See, these two are ready to go already. We'll transfer them all into a shulker box, and then we'll just throw the filled shulker boxes in here. We got some very nice lighting. This is actually very bright. Take a look here. It is nighttime. I did pretty good with the lighting. We have light everywhere, and that's I wanted to make use of some more 1.17 blocks, so I was using the glow lichen as a bit of decoration, as well as some low level light. And then to kind of make up for the low level light, we of course have the lovely glow berries, which, since this is a bone meal farm, these were actually very easy to grow. I started off with like 10, and then I just could place them one after the other, slap some bone meal on here. Looks like I may have missed a couple pieces. Great thing about a bone farm is all you have to do is get some bone meal straight from the farm itself. A good chunk of this farm is made from the resources that it produces, which is actually pretty green, I would say. Yes, that was a very green move of me. But anyway, we got our glowberries back in. Tell me what you think, everyone. We got ourselves a nice little bit of glowberry lighting. It is completely dark out there, but you cannot tell because of how bright it is in here. And yeah, we have our storage. We have both sides. We can activate all 4 farms if we want. I'm not going to because of what it does to our frames, but we're going to try to fly up here. And as you can see, we have these 2 farms that are both running, producing us all the bone meal resources that we need. And then I did a little extra security measure. I kind of covered up these because sometimes the stupid wandering trader, wherever he is around here somewhere. A horrible mob. Anyway, the horrible wandering trader kept moving around the hopper minecarts, and then it would slow down the pull push rate, which was not a good thing. So we did a little covering of that to stop the horrible wandering trader. And then we have ourselves just a nice little AFK spot in here. Buttons, of course, on the outside. So in the event that a mob somehow ends up down here, they're not going to be able to get in because mobs are stupid. They can't use buttons, luckily. So that's a good thing. We got ourselves a nice little AFK spot right here. Not too bad. And then here's where I did no decoration, but it's okay because a maintenance room is not supposed to be decorated. Just lit up the area to kind of help mod proof it. And then we have ourselves a nice little basic pattern all along here. Nothing too big. So in the creative world, the water stream comes out 1 block shorter than it actually is in this world, which is why I was stuck for a moment during build while I was building this all up. I almost redid the whole water stream, and then I realized, you know what? It's okay. We'll just bring this in and shrink the circle by another block or 2. It won't be too bad. And I actually have plenty of room to still launch out just like that. Perfect. I may just leave it like this because it's actually kind of cool. Just check this out. Picture this, everybody. So we're coming in from the main base. We fly in, and you just look at this. You just see these big behemoths of bone meal farms, these bone batteries, processing all of the different moss blocks. And we call it a bone battery because this is literally going to be producing all the bone meal that we need for every farm that we use that requires bone meal to run. So when we do like some sugarcane farm or some bamboo farm or some, does cactus grow with bone meal? Maybe cactus. Kelp farming, literally every farm that requires bone meal is going to be powered by the bone meal produced from this farm. So that's why we call this the bone battery, because this is the battery for all of the other farms. But that's going to be it for today, everybody. Thank you all again so much for watching. I am Timeless Traveler, and this was my Let's Play. Let me know what you think down below in the comment section, what you think of the bone battery and all the optimizing that we have done to it. It is now running at a much higher rate of efficiency, producing more items and leaving less items to waste. And let me know what you think about the exterior. I keep telling myself I'm not a builder and I can't decorate to save my life, but you know what? I feel like this turned out pretty good. It all fits a certain feel. We got, like, you know, the lighter colors to match the bone meal, and then we have a little bit more earthiness as well to kind of match the earthy resources. So I think it went together pretty well. The redstone is solid. But yeah, let me know what you think down below. And again, thank you all so much for watching. You all take care, have an amazing day, and I will see you in the next episode.